Another thing that makes me very happy is that at last I can introduce one of the most intelligent people in the Data Innovation Lab. I will not talk about how pretty she is, but more about how she managed to set up a team. Please let me introduce you to Elena from the Data Innovation Lab of Ceres.
How do I change the file?
It's coming up in a minute.
Okay, and how do I change it with it?
You just put... Okay, it's there.
Okay, hello. I don't know what to say after this introduction. I have to say I am data scientist at work for certain, and luckily I don't have a lot above the belt. But I do data science, and I'm coordinating the data innovation activities in Ceres. There are quite a lot of familiar faces in the public, but I'm sure that majority of you do not know Ceres. We are a collective center of the technological industry, very tightly linked with Agoria, one of the largest industrial associations in Belgium, and our mission is to increase the competitiveness of the companies from Agoria sectors through technological innovations. And data, of course, is part of these innovations. We are a very special organization. There are only few such organizations in Belgium. We are kind of association of membership companies, have about 2,500 companies. You can see that in our member companies we have some of the well-known large industrial players in Belgium, but majority of our members are SMEs. Active in several different technological domains, which is actually offering a very wide range of opportunities for data innovation research. Via our member companies, we have access to all kinds of industrial contexts where data is only getting more and more important in the recent years. And as all of you know, data is cross-sector, cross-domain, cross-application. These are some of the topics that we are presently active. Most of them really influenced by the large paradigm shift to mobile devices, sensors, and embedded devices. So we have a big focus on wearable intelligence and predictive analytics. We are mostly working with complex and rich data sets. I have to say very few true big data projects so far. And as I already said, we are domain agnostic. This is our track record in industrial projects. You have to know that our group is active for less than 5 years. And what I want to emphasize here is we do not do academic research. So any research activity is really rooted in the industrial needs and challenges of our member companies. How do we usually perform research, particularly the data innovation group? We try to get engaged in large European initiatives with the aim to embed competitive and complementary consortium of Belgian industrial players, which usually come into the consortium with their own use case. And then we try to cover the whole value chain from the requirement solicitation and contact with end users to the development of a prototype which we demonstrate at the end of the project. And now I'll try to give you a bit of idea of the type of research projects we've been involved. The first project is ASIOT. This is one of the first big initiatives that the group conceived and started. It is a European project of 25 partners with a focus on developing decision support solutions which in proactive way support professional users that are operating in data-intensive environments. And we had several different use cases. For example, we had a smart cockpit application in support of, for example, a landing in the complex conditions. And I just, curious detail, one of the user states the colleagues from the avionics use case wanted to detect was whether one of the pilots is incapacitated. This is very relevant if you listen to the news this morning. Because actually all the software in the cockpit is developed for 2 people. And it is very important to know when only one has to manage this complex machine. Then we had another use case about augmented reality automotive system. But in Belgium, as you could see from, I don't know, can you see well? Seems my background is not well to see, but you can see a firefighter. So in Belgium, we were focusing on emergency dispatching a solution, and together with the Belgium industrial partners, we developed a mobile dispatching, emergency dispatching prototype. We had also the look that one of the partners had a direct access to the end user. So we could really elicit requirements, we could perform field studies and usability tests with real fire commanders and firefighters, and we learned a lot. We also learned that sometimes we consider solutions that seem really very sexy and very intelligent, but then in reality they appear not to be very handy. What Series did in this project is we mostly focus on the development of the reasoning layer that supports dynamic and context-aware interface adaptation with a big focus on the proactive behavior. Example of that is, for example, if the system detects presence of dangerous goods on an industrial site which is affected by fire, then what the system will do, it will immediately prompt an emergency evacuation route to the firefighter and try to guide the firefighter through this evacuation by selecting the best modality with respect to the environment of the firefighter, the context of the firefighter. So if it's very noisy and the visibility is a very poor quality because of smoke, then you have to try to look for some body awareness way to push the instructions to the firefighter. I'm moving to another project, quite a different context, although we're still busy analyzing sensor data. This is a project where we are active in condition monitoring for solar energy production. It's again in the context of a very big European initiative, almost 70 partners. We work together with a highly innovative Brussels company. I think I saw here someone from this company. Yes, hello, 3E, where we analyze data collected from sensors mounted on solar plants all over the world. And we try to look for patterns to predict anomalies and in this way support predictive maintenance. Of course, we are confronted with very typical problems when you deal with such type of data. For example, lack of standardization. So, for example, the logging information is not compatible across manufacturers. So it's very difficult really to map one error message or one warning from one manufacturer to another. We deal with sometimes poor quality of data, missing data, then comparing, for example, measured versus simulated data. But this makes, of course, the research even more challenging and more attractive for us. These are two really small examples of projects we are involved, always with industrial partners, due to the limitation of my presentation, the time limitation. Philip kept changing the duration of my presentation from 20 minutes and to 13, so I will stop with examples, but I would like to share with you some of our insights, which is actually very nicely linking to what Stefan was saying before me. I mean, data is a hype, and it is very easy to surf on this hype sometimes and to fall in these cliches. But we have to be very careful. I mean, what about is actually data innovation? Data innovation is not about volume. And as I said, especially in Europe, very few really true big data problems are really available, at least to us in industrial context. It's actually what is more important to have access to the most representative data set for the phenomena under study. And of course, the right quality is very important. And sometimes small data sets can be very, very complex to understand. Then another thing that Steven said is, DIS Hub is full of all kinds of consultants running around and selling us the idea that, we install the right tool, the right infrastructure, and your data problem is solved. No, that's not the case. You still need to deal with statistics, with mathematics, with machine learning. Data innovation is not just about data crunching. Because the most intelligent algorithm will be useless if you don't have any prior knowledge about the phenomena under study. You need to gain insight of what do you want to model, what is the nature of the data, what is the quality of the data. And in a lot of sciences, for example, in life sciences, they already a long time ago, 10 years ago, they recognized the need to involve data scientists already at the stage of the design of the experiment. Also, data innovations are not easily scalable in terms of effort and human resources. You know, it is very difficult to find off-the-shelf products, although some of big ICT players claim they solved it all. And we need, as Steven said, data scientists that studied really years to gain this expertise. What I want to finish with is, we deal with all kinds of data challenges in industrial context daily. So we know what lives in the industry, and what we could say that very few companies are really aware of the potential of data innovation and know how to really approach it. For this purpose, we initiated last year, together with Agoria and with the support of the DTI group from KU Leuven, a project called Elucidata to stimulate the innovation, the adoption of data innovation by companies. We focus on several different challenges, but the main focus is, and again I'm going back to what Steven said, but try to make it explicit, it's very difficult for companies to translate the few successful big stories as Facebook and Google in their own context. So practically the problem owners, they have problems to really translate the implementation of data innovation in their own context. We collected a very large set of stakeholders to really develop industrial demonstrators within Elucidata project. And then I'm finishing. And what I want to say is we're still looking for other interested partners, mostly problem owners, which I'm not sure that there are many of them here because for one or for another reason, such type of events are not very appealing. And I'm not talking about, of course, the finance sector. I have the media and the social media. Anyway, if you're interested in our initiative, Agoria will present more this afternoon, and you can always talk to me in the breaks. I hope you'll be able to find me. Thank you very much.